Good morning, spiritual companions. We are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Chapter 11, The Master at Cossipore, Wednesday, December 23rd, 1885. On Friday, December 11th, Sri Ramakrishna was moved to a beautiful house at Cossipore, a suburb of Calcutta. The house was situated in a garden covering about 5 acres of land and abounding in fruit trees and flowering plants. Here the final curtain fell on the Master's life. At Cossipore he set himself with redoubled energy to the completion of the task of spiritual ministration he had begun long before at Dakshineswar. Realizing that the end of his physical life was approaching, he gave away his spiritual treasures without stint to one and all. He was like one of those fruit sellers who bring their fruit to the marketplace, bargain at first about the prices, but then towards sunset, when the market is about to close, give away the fruit indiscriminately. Here his disciples saw the greatest manifestation of his spiritual powers. Here they saw also the fulfillment of his prophecies about his own end. I shall make the whole thing public before I go. When people in large numbers come to know and whisper about the greatness of this body, then the mother will take it back. The devotees will be sifted into inner and outer circles toward the end, and so on. Here he predicted that a band of young disciples, with Narendranath as their leader, would in due course renounce the world and devote themselves to the realization of God and the service of humanity. The young devotees had taken up their quarters at the garden house to tend Sri Ramakrishna, although many of them visited their own homes every now and then. The householders came to see the Master almost every day, and some of them occasionally spent the night. On the morning of December 23rd, Sri Ramakrishna gave unrestrained expression to his love for the devotees. Touching Kalipada's chest, he said, "May your inner spirit be awakened." He stroked Kalipada's chin affectionately and said, "Whoever has sincerely called on God or performed his daily religious devotions will certainly come here." In the morning, 2 ladies received his special blessing. In a state of samadhi, he touched their hearts with his feet. They shed tears of joy. One of them said to him, weeping, "You are so kind." His love this day really broke all bounds. He wanted to bless Gopal of Sinthi and said to a devotee, "Bring Gopal here." It was evening. Sri Ramakrishna was absorbed in meditation on the Mother of the Universe. After a while, he began to talk very softly with some of the devotees. Kali, Chunalal M., Navagopal, Sashi, Niranjan, and a few others were present. "Master, can you tell me how long it will take to recover from this illness?" M. It has been aggravated a little and will take some days. Master, how long? M. Perhaps 5 to 6 months. Hearing this, Sri Ramakrishna became impatient, like a child, and said, "So long? What do you mean?" M. I mean, sir, for complete recovery. Master, oh, that, I am relieved. Can you explain one thing? How is it that in spite of all these visions, all this ecstasy and samadhi, I am so ill? M. Your suffering is no doubt great, but it has a deep meaning. Master, what is it? M. A change is coming over your mind. It is turning toward the formless aspect of God. Even your ego of knowledge is vanishing. Master, that is true. My teaching is coming to an end. I cannot give any more instruction. I see that everything is God Himself. And sometimes I say to myself, Whom shall I teach? You see, because I am living in a rented house, all kinds of devotees are coming here. I hope I shall not have to put up a signboard like Shasadhar or Krishna Prasanna Sen announcing my lectures. The Master and M laugh. Footnote on those two names. Shasadhar and Krishna Prasanna were two well-known Hindu preachers, contemporary of Sri Ramakrishna. M. There is yet another purpose in this illness. It is the final sifting of disciples. The devotees have achieved in these few days what they could not have realized by 5 years tapasya. Their love and devotion are growing by leaps and bounds. Master, that may be true, but Narendranath went back home. To Narendranath, please tell me how you feel. Narendranath, formerly I loved you, no doubt, but now it is impossible for me to live without you. M. One day I found out how great these young men were. Master, where? M. Sir, one day I stood in a corner of the house at Siampukur and watched the devotees. I clearly saw that every one of them had made his way here through almost insurmountable obstacles and given himself over to your service. As Sri Ramakrishna listened to these words, he became abstracted. He was silent for a few moments. Presently he went into samadhi. Regaining consciousness of the outer world, he said to M, I saw everything passing from form to formlessness. I want to tell you all the things I saw, but I cannot. Well, this tendency of mine toward the formless is only a sign of my nearing dissolution. Isn't that so? M. Wonderingly, it may be. Master, even now I see the formless, indivisible Satchidananda just like that, but I am suppressing my feelings with great difficulty. What you said about the sifting of disciples was right. This illness is showing who belong to the inner circle and who to the outer. Those who are living here, renouncing the world, belong to the inner circle, and those who pay occasional visits and asks, How are you, sir?, belong to the outer circle. To M. When God assumes a human body for the sake of his devotees, many of his devotees accompany him to this earth. Some of them belong to the inner circle, some to the outer circle, and some become the suppliers of his physical needs. I experienced one of my first ecstasies when I was 10 or 11 years old, as I was going through a meadow to a shrine of the Divine Mother. What a vision! I became completely unconscious of the outer world. I was 22 or 23 when the Divine Mother one day asked me in the Kali temple, Do you want to be an akshara? I didn't know what the word meant. I asked Haladhari about it. He said, Kshara means jiva, living being. Akshara means Paramatman, the Supreme Soul. At the hour of the evening worship in the Kali temple, I would climb to the roof of the Kuthi and cry out, O devotees, where are you all? Come to me soon. I shall die in the company of worldly people. I told all this to the Englishmen. Footnote. The master perhaps referred to the English-educated Brahmos. They said it was all an illusion of my mind. Perhaps it is, I said to myself, and became calm. But now it is all coming true. The devotees are coming. The Divine Mother also showed me in a vision the 5 suppliers of my needs. First, Mathur Babu, and second, Sambhu Malik, whom I had not then met. I had a vision of a fair-skinned man with a cap on his head. Many days later, when I first met Sambhu, I recalled that vision. I realized that it was he whom I had seen in that ecstatic state. I haven't yet found out the 3 other suppliers of my wants, but they were all of a fair complexion. Surendra looks like one of them. In a vision, I saw that Sashi and Sarat had been among the followers of Christ. Under the banyan tree in the Panchavati, I had a vision of the child Hriday say to me, "Then a son will soon be born to you." I said to him, "But I regard all women as mother. How can I have a son?" That child is Rakal. Vijay had a vision of this form, meaning himself. How do you account for that? Vijay said to me, "I touched it exactly as I am touching you now." It was revealed to me in a vision that during my last days I should have to live on pudding. During my present illness, my wife was one day feeding me with pudding. I burst into tears and said, "Is this my living on pudding near the end, and so painfully?" Monday, January 4th, 1886. It was the 14th day of the dark fortnight of the moon. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Sri Ramakrishna was sitting in his room. He told M. that Ram Chatterjee had come from the Kali temple at Dakshineswar to inquire about his health. He asked M. whether it was now very cold at the temple garden. Narendra arrived. Now and then the master looked at him and smiled. It appeared to M. that day the master's love for his beloved disciples was boundless. He indicated to M. by a sign that Narendra had wept. Then he remained quiet. Again he indicated that Narendra had cried all the way from home. No one spoke. Narendra broke the silence. "Narendra, I have been thinking of going there today." "Master, where?" "Narendra, to Dakshineswar. I intend to light a fire under the bel tree and meditate." "Master, no. The authorities of the Powder magazine will not allow it. The Panchavati is a nice place. Many sadhus have practiced japa and meditation there. But it is very cold there. The place is dark, too." Again, for a few moments, all sat in silence. "Master," to Narendra, smiling, "won't you continue your studies?" Narendra, looking at the master and M. "I shall feel greatly relieved if I find a medicine that will make me forget all I have studied." The elder Gopal, who was also in the room, said, "I shall accompany Narendra." Kalipada Ghosh had brought a box of grapes for Sri Ramakrishna. It lay beside the master. The master gave Narendra a few and poured the rest on the floor for the devotees to pick up. It was evening. Narendra was sitting in a room downstairs. He was smoking and describing to M. the yearning of his soul. No one else was with them. "Narendra, I was meditating here last Saturday when I felt a peculiar sensation in my heart." M. "It was the awakening of the Kundalini." Narendra, "Probably it was. I clearly perceived the Ida and the Pingala nerves. I asked Hazra to feel my chest. Yesterday I saw him, meaning the master, upstairs and told him about it. I said to him, 'All the others have had experiences. Please give me some. All have succeeded. Shall I alone remain unsatisfied?' M. "What did he say to you?" Narendra, "He said, 'Why don't you settle your family affairs first, and then come to me? You will get everything. What do you want?' I replied, 'It is my desire to remain absorbed in samadhi continually for 3 or 4 days, only once in a while coming down to the sense plane to eat a little food.' Thereupon he said to me, 'You are a very small-minded person. There is a state higher even than that. All that exists art thou. It is you who sing that song.' M. "Yes, He always says that after coming down from samadhi, one sees that it is God himself who has become the universe, the living beings, and all that exists. The Ishvarakotis alone can attain that state. An ordinary man can at most attain samadhi, but he cannot come down from that state. Narendra, he, the master, said, "Settle your family affairs and then come to me. You will attain a state higher than samadhi." I went home this morning. My people scolded me, saying, "Why do you wander about like a vagabond? Your law examination is near at hand, and you are not paying any attention to your studies. You wander about aimlessly." M. Did your mother say anything? Narendra. No. She was very eager to feed me. She gave me venison. I ate a little, though I didn't feel like eating meat. M. And then? Narendra. I went to my study at my grandmother's. As I tried to read, I was seized with a great fear, as if studying were a terrible thing. My heart struggled within me. I burst into tears. I never wept so bitterly in my life. I left my books and ran away. I ran along the streets. My shoes slipped from my feet. I didn't know where. I kept on running along the road to Cossipore. Narendra remained silent a few minutes and then resumed. Narendra, since reading the Vivekachudamani, I have felt very much depressed. In it, Shankaracharya says that only through great tapasya and good fortune does one acquire these three things: a human birth, the desire for liberation, and refuge with a great soul. I said to myself, I have surely gained all these three. As a result of great tapasya, I have been born a human being. Through great tapasya again, I have the desire for liberation. And through great tapasya, I have the companionship of such a great soul. M. Ah. Narendra, I have no more taste for the world. I do not relish the company of those who live in the world, of course, with the exception of one or two devotees. Narendra became silent again. A fire of intense renunciation was burning within him. His soul was restless for the vision of God. He resumed the conversation. Narendra to M. You have found peace, but my soul is restless. You are blessed indeed. M. did not reply, but sat in silence. He said to himself, Sri Ramakrishna said that one must pant and pine for God. Only then may one have the vision of him. Immediately after dusk, M. went upstairs. He found Sri Ramakrishna asleep. End of today's reading.